Hello Internet, I recently asked you guys in a community post what you would change about your country's education system because I think it's a really interesting topic and I want to make a discussion video about it in the near future. Several of you highlighted Japan's schooling system as something many nations should try and adopt, and as a naive and stupid English person, I wanted to understand why. I was going to watch this next video by myself and then I thought, hold on a minute, a lot of my viewers are Japanese, so why don't I make this into a reaction video and hopefully we can educate ourselves and learn some new shit together. Let's do the reaction thing. I will put a link in the description below to the original video because I'm inevitably going to pause it and talk all over it, and of course if you don't want me to do that, that's okay, you can go and watch it on your own and I'll still love you. Right then, let's expand our minds. As they say, knowledge is power.
Japan has one of the most unique educational systems in the world actually, and based on their economic stability and the strength of their cultural identity, I think they're doing something right. So let's go ahead and see what are the things that they're doing very, very differently in Japan. Number 1, character before academic knowledge. Until a student is 10 years old, they are not given any exam. Instead, they are taught manners, character, and discipline. In their early years in school, they are taught respect, generosity, consideration towards others, self-control, manners, and how to take care of themselves, other people, nature, and animals.
Which makes perfect sense because these are their formative years. They're trying to find out who they are. They don't need to worry about exams at that kind of age. They need to worry about which shoes go on the right feet and can they go to the toilet without assistance.
Number 2, character is the foundation of learning. They believe that when the student has the right foundation in their character, it is easier for them to learn new things.
Well, that's a lot to read.
They believe that if students have the right character, they learn more efficiently. Then it becomes an easier load for the teacher and the whole educational system in the long run. Number 3, Japanese school days are also the longest in the world.
Really?
Students go to school in the morning and stay there until late in the afternoon.
Hold on a minute. They go to school at 8:30 and they finish at 3. If I remember, I started school at 8:45 and finished at 3:15. So there's no differential there in the time they spend at school during the day. I mean, we did have like an hour lunch and I think 2 30-minute morning and afternoon breaks where we would just go and play football and be a nuisance and get in fights and probably smoke behind the bike shed and stuff. And the same thing applies to after school activities, although they were voluntary for us. I was in the cross-country team, the athletics team, the football team, and even when those things weren't happening, me and my mates would pretty much play football after school every single day of the week and play on Saturdays and Sundays. We were quite active. Not seeing many differentials from my time at school compared to Japan from a start and finish time at present, but I think their school terms are much longer. They don't have as many like half terms and summer breaks as we do.
And even during vacations, they actually are given homeworks.
Oh, that sucks, doesn't it?
Number 4, teachers are highly respected in Japan, almost the same level as doctors and lawyers.
I think that teachers should be respected to the same level as doctors and lawyers and everything else. They are the foundation of our youth and what they become. They've got such a difficult job. They should get paid so much more than they currently do. I don't know if it's in the same situation in many other countries, but a lot of our teachers, young and old, are going on strike because they're not paid enough. And I think it's fair. They deserve more.
Becoming a teacher is also much harder in Japan than it is in America. That's how they start commanding such respect. Number 5, teach, not entertain. It is not the teacher's priority to make the class interesting or memorable to the students, as their job is to teach.
Yeah, but I mean, we've all got that like one or several teachers that even now, 25 years or however long after we've left school, they still stick in our mind because they were fun, they were our favourite teacher. And I think when you do have that connection with them sometimes, it does make you more motivated and enthusiastic to go to class. For example, I had a teacher called Mr. Knott who taught me sports science from the ages of 14 to around 17 or 18, and I loved him to bits. I was just always excited to go to his classes. He was absolutely deadpan, had no social skills whatsoever. He was from the army, but I just loved his methods of teaching, and I just really grasped onto every single word he said, and that's why I was so good in that class. I remember when I was about 20 and I bumped into him in a pub, and I told him that he was one of my favourite teachers I ever had throughout my teenage years and was the reason that I performed so well in my exams. So I agree to an extent that yes, teachers are there to teach, but I think personality can go a long way.
Their job is to introduce concepts, ideas, and make sure they are absorbed and applied. They challenge students to think critically, to innovate,
Sounds
and to
exciting,
nurture
doesn't it?
new ideas. Just as it is not the job of a doctor to entertain their patients, it is not the job of a lawyer to entertain their clients, it is not the job of a teacher to entertain their students. Their job is to train students to academic excellence. And that's what they do.
I'm game for academic excellence, but you can still learn and have a laugh at the same time, surely, like we are now. Or maybe that's just me.
Number 6, there is no prom in Japan. Extracurricular activities
we didn't
in
have a
Japan
prom
are either about
in
sports
my
or culture
school
with
either,
some
to be
gray
honest.
areas in between. However, more of the culture
I can't
clubs are
dance
about
anyway.
Japanese culture and arts such as calligraphy, traditional music, dances, and others.
I think there's so much pressure put on people for proms or proms if you're American. That kind of stuff was never really my thing. Of course, I was like a rock and metal dude anyway, even at that age, an indie kid and stuff. So going to dances and all of that and just trying to like be cool and all that. So me and my mates were a little bit different. Or we like to think we were, in that we were academically quite good. We were in a lot of the top sets and we did well in exams and stuff like that. But we also had fun outside of school. We were a little bit naughty. Yeah, we'd smoke and drink, and we had girlfriends and did naughty things and stuff like that. So we kind of like mixed with, I hate to say this, we mixed with like, we called them the boffs, who are basically the nerds and stuff like that. But we mixed with them because we were in the good classes. But we also mixed with the naughty and the bad kids that probably didn't do as well in school. So we were like a middle ground. And even now, I still really embrace that aspect about me and my friends' personalities, because we didn't just hang around with kids because they were popular or they were flavour of the month. We hung with kids because we liked them and who they were. Didn't matter where they come from, what class they were in, whether they were rich or poor or anything like that. We just hung around people that we liked. Even now, to this day, I've got the same sort of 5 friends that I've grown up with since we were like 5-6 years old. We don't catch up as often as we would probably like, and they're a pain in the backside to get hold of. They're an absolute nightmare to try and organise a date with. But when we do meet up, it's just like we'd never been away. We just catch up like it was yesterday, and that's what I love about them. If you're watching this, boys, I know you're not. We need to sort a date out.
These clubs can also meet up even during vacations. And all of this is a part of the Japanese effort to strengthen their identity and their culture.
If you focus in on this image here, you will notice that all of the musicians are female. And to me, that comes as no surprise. And if you're familiar with my channel and have seen my music reactions before, you will know that I love hard rock and metal from Japan, because the women are tearing up the scene and putting a lot of the dudes to shame. And this makes perfect sense. The dudes academically tend to focus more on sports, and it's the girls that are picking up the guitars, and that's why they're so bloody good at what they do in Japan. It's a great scene and I can't get enough of it.
Number 7, there are no school buses in Japan.
What?
In Japanese public kindergartens, mothers take their kids to school, often by bicycle.
This is probably why there aren't many fat people in Japan, because they're getting their steps in every day and they're not just relying on public transport and buses, and they're not sitting on their backsides all day long. They're getting their steps in, and not eating shit either. I used to walk to and from school every day as well. I never got the bus. It was probably a 20-25 minute walk, and that's why today I've got an amazing aerobic capacity. I just need to get rid of my beer belly.
Public elementary schools and junior high schools are close enough for the students to walk to school. It is very, very common to see little children walking unattended in Japan to attend their school.
And that's where it can be a little bit difficult, because we know there's some wrong uns out there. So in some countries and districts and cities and towns, it's not always going to be safe for kids to walk to school on their own. Certain nations are safer than others. Clearly, Japan is one of those.
Number 8. There are no janitors in Japanese schools.
What?
The students clean their school every day.
That is such a fantastic idea, because there is no way in hell you would be pissing in a urinal and getting it all over the floor, all over the toilet seat, if you knew you were the one that was going to have to clean it up, which is why when I'm at home, even when I pee, I like to sit down.
Number 9. Summer vacation is about 5 weeks long in Japan. It's about twice as long in America. But remember, Japanese students must do a lot of homework during the summer. What they get to do more of is extracurricular activities during the summer that is still connected to their culture or their national sports. I find it very interesting that they make it a part of the school's job to hone the character of the students. I think it is very, very true that it actually takes a village.
It's like building your character and your academic excellence doesn't just start and end in those 6 and a bit hours when you're in the classroom. It's all of the time. As I said earlier in the video, knowledge is power. And just like, even now, I'm a 43-year-old dude. I still want to learn stuff. I want to educate myself. I like to read books and pick up on things that I don't know about. And this is why I'm watching this video, because I want to learn about a culture and what they do in their education system that perhaps many other countries can take a leaf out of and become better. So, yeah, I think them forcing the kids to do homework even during summer break is a great idea. And yeah, they still get to do like other academic things as well and have fun during that break, I'm sure. But they're always kind of switched on. It's never sort of taken away from them entirely. So they've still got to be on the ball.
It is very, very true that it actually takes a village to raise a kid. And so it is, because they spend most of their time in school, it is but natural for the school to be a part of honing the character of the students. I don't know if any one of you has actually worked with somebody that was born and raised in Japan, but I have, and I know that they will never turn over a work unless it achieves a certain level of perfection that they've set up for themselves. And now I understand it all comes from that foundation that every Japanese has when they start schooling. I do think there is some merit into looking at their system and see how we can adapt something like this to our country.
Definitely.
To the US, to the Philippines, to other countries. If the Japanese ingenuity, if their industry is anything to go by, the quality of their work is anything to go by, there's some merit in there. We know that it actually works.
That was cool. I'm sure that there's loads of videos like that out there that I could have potentially watched, but I picked that one because I decided to pick that one. And I've learned a fair bit about their education system and their methodologies and obviously what they're trying to achieve. There were some elements that I didn't entirely agree with, but not to the extent that I think that they should be eliminated or ignored. More refined. I think there needs to be a little bit more playfulness and humour in those formulative years, but what the hell do I know? I'm an idiot. Well, that was good fun. I enjoyed doing that. If you like me doing reaction videos like this, which aren't music related, then hit the like button. Thank you for watching. Look after yourself. Hopefully I'll see you very soon. Bye for now, people.